Thank you for checking out this visual storybook about Stockton University Police Department's first canine, my partner Canine Hemi. It's called Canine Hemi Livin' the Dream. The book is intended to give the viewer good insight into who Hemi is both at home and at work. You'll see the first few words on top of the front page are done in a bold Avenir Bold font, size 48, color black, while the words Live in the Dream is in more of a softer, more personal font, which is script. Same size, same color. This book was created using photos that I took myself and downloaded into Shutterfly. I used one of their templates and then looked for colors and embellishments that I felt would be appropriate. Since Hemi was obtained through a Homeland Security grant, I felt there was nothing more appropriate than the American flag as a background on the cover. There you can see Hemi is displayed, proudly laying in the grass in front of our patrol vehicle. On the opposite page, one can see the back cover, which shows several pictures taken at home. They are displayed with a muted effect with a famous canine quote. Inside the photo story, there is repetition in the primary background colors in keeping with the theme of the American flag. There is also repetition in the red and beige embellishments used behind almost every photograph. I centered the headers and used a black size 18 font, bold version of Avenir Bold. The underlying captions are done in Avenir Bold regular font size 16, also in black, with the exception of the darker pages that have the color cool gray in order for them to pop out. The alignment is left with a wide spacing to make it easier to read. On this page you'll see a close-up shot of Hemi's badge displayed on the top, and I used the rule of thirds for Hemi's photograph as I did for most other photographs. Pages 2 and 3 are a mini-story which provides insight into a New Jersey State Police Explosives Detection Training Day. I used this layout to give the viewer enough room to see background information on the left in the darker font. I wanted to condense the story in one sequential space, which I did on the right, using the lighter font. Here the viewer can see Hemi popping out of his vehicle compartment as we arrive at training. He can also see the many canine handlers waiting to participate below, and that was taken from a higher elevation. Using the rule of thirds, Hemi is pictured as he indicates at the red backpack where he detected an explosive odor. You can also see him receiving an award or a reward for his fine work. Lots of praise and play. Pages 4 and 5 are pretty much action shots where I attempted to capture the rule of thirds also. It's another example of Hemi's explosive detection alert and his frenzy to play with his reward. Pages 6 and 7 begins the mini-story of Hemi's secondary function, which is tracking. He is displayed in a large picture on the right, wearing his leather harness, which is solely used for tracking. Pages 8 and 9, which are part of the tracking mini-story, I wanted to make sure the viewer had a good sight of the tracking, which stands out on the left, particularly since that photo was taken using a GoPro, which was attached to my chest harness. Hopefully the viewer can see the start of leading lines along that sidewalk and the curve in the sidewalk up ahead. Pages 10 and 11 conclude the mini-story from my GoPro harness. That second shot on the right shows a good amount of action, which Hemi's completely delighted at being praised for doing such a good job for his tracking. It's part of the beauty in canine work, seeing the happy moments when the canine is so happy for doing a good job, which also makes me happy. The layout in pages 12 and 13 are closely consistent with the starter sections in pages 2 and pages 6, which is the explosives and the tracking. There's room for brief background information on the left, and on the right, the eye-catching photo of Hemi by the lake in a larger photo, I used the light and shadow technique to capture this one at sunset by Lake Fred at Stockton. Pages 14 and 15 reflect the rule of thirds. One can see the reactions that Hemi's antics create. Particularly on the right, the page layout of angled photos gives it a lighter type of feel, a bit more amusing, I take it. One never knows what Hemi's going to get into, and you can see that from Chief Parker's expression and Lieutenant Britton's expressions. On page 16 on the left, one can see the use of foreground, background. As Hemi is in the front waiting for his snack, you see the viewers toward the rear. On the right, again, that's the repetitious embellishment behind the photograph. And I laid in the grass to capture the action shot. It kind of makes the point that Hemi's not afraid to exercise after getting that treat that he just had on the left. Now pages 18 and 19 is a dual-page spread of Hemi on the beach. He's running towards something and you can't tell what it is, but you can tell he's excited, and you see the use of light and shadow beneath him on the sand. The photographs below provide background of his home care. Light and shadow can also be seen in the photo to the far right where he's running through the backyard. On page 20, this final photo, I hope the caption says it all. Here the viewer has a clear view of this working dog and what may be on his mind. Life is good. It really is. Thanks for watching.